bike download. We worked on an intro song and a few other things today.
I think your mic's working.
Yeah, mic seems to be working real good. Let me turn it down.
Check, check, check.
Can you hear me now?
Check, check. No, we're good.
All right, we got sound now.
Check, check, check. Now we can start.
All right, we got sound now. Once again, not tech guys, and our two tech guys are not here tonight, so that doesn't help things. So yeah, like I said, we're going to call in Adam Alexander. We're going to have a report on last weekend's Log Road Loretta Lynn's qualifier. Logan will talk about round 1 of the D14 Enduro Series. And then we're going to call Dan Stevens, our District 14 Hare Scramble chairman, to talk about the upcoming Hare Scrambles. And then Adam will also talk about upcoming race at Redbud this weekend. So let's start off with Logan. How was round 1 of D14 Enduros?
It was pretty good. I texted Jeff Fredette my drive home from the race and said that's probably one of the best sand goblins I've ever rode. Weather turned out perfect. They got a bunch of rain Friday night. They did a trail ride on Saturday. Some people texted me, Jacob Pondle, one of them, saying that it was really good. Dirt was perfect. Everything was looking really good. So I showed up Sunday morning, hit the trails. Long sections, I will say that. The 14-mile section is to start off the day. And they like to make it tight down there. Jeff likes a nice tight trail. I swear he aims for every log, every down tree that is in those properties.
You said there's a lot of logs.
I think we crossed, no exaggeration, 100 to 150 logs. Some were diagonal. I crashed the Honda for the first time since I bought it. Jumped one log. There's another one on the other side. Diagonal, front tire hits it. I go over the bars. That was in section 1. That was pretty cool. But as far as the dirt was really good. Trail had really good flow to it, even though it was tight. Yeah, it was really good.
How many entries do they have?
I think they had around 250, 260.
That's good. They had family enduro the day before, right?
Just trail ride.
Just trail ride.
Yeah, so family trail ride. No, it was good. I rode decent. Nick Farringer from Ohio, he took the overall win, as he should. Former factory Husqvarna rider.
Yeah.
But
I think he's been out here.
He probably has.
I think. Yeah. In fact, I think Byron told me a story about he's one of the guys that almost drowned in the pond.
Maybe
when they're out here riding.
Yeah, I could see it. So yeah, Nick Farringer took the overall win. I'm not sure district wise. Maybe Chris Huffman might have been the top district guy. Cam McGee out of A30 plus was on the road behind me. He was ripping all day too. I think he was 9th overall, probably 2nd for the district. So
wow,
good ride for him. He caught me in the last section while I was struggling with motivation to try to get through the day. But then once he caught me, it was on.
Yeah.
I looked back and saw him there. I messed up on a log. He got around me. Somehow we got back ahead of Justin Jones, another guy on our row. Yeah, we were 3 of us running train through that last section. I was riding over my head. I could tell I was doing everything I could to hold on to Cam. I didn't want him to get away. Then he got to a log that you came at basically perpendicular with, and you had to do a wheelie pivot turn over top of it. He got hung up on it. I'm yelling, go, 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 go. He jumps off his bike. He gets going. As soon as he goes to jump back on his bike, I try to wheelie over the log, and inadvertently my front tire hits his leg as he's swinging it over the bike. He drops his 450. He falls on top of it. I say, sorry, bud. Took off. We get to the end of the check. Talking about it, I'm like, dude, you caught me. I had no motivation. You threw a tow rope out. You drug me through that section, because he did. It was dragging me right along. And he goes, as soon as I dropped that bike, all the wind out of my sails. I was going so hard trying to get away from you, and I couldn't. And
Well, at that point, you're probably, 40, 50 miles in?
Oh, yeah.
At least?
Yeah. I mean, we raced 168 minutes, I did. So, we're at the 3-hour mark at that point and giving it all we had. And the wind kind of got out of his sails when I knocked him down and got a little bit of time back on him, but he still kicked my butt. He rode good.
So pretty strong district turnout down there then?
Seemed like it. Yeah.
Because that's tri-sanctioned, right?
Yep. District 14, 16, 17. So
Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan.
Yep. So one thing I did want to bring up, I know Mark Becker, for those that know Mark Becker.
He probably loved it if the trail was tight.
Oh, he loved it. He did. He said he loved every bit about it. But he made a Facebook post, and it's true. At the riders meeting down there, they said, we race this alongside crops in farmers' fields, and stay out of the fields. We have the stakes. Go to the stake with an arrow. Stay right next to it. The year before they had an alfalfa field that they had to pay the farmer for, because a lot of people decided they needed to shortcut and cut through somebody's crops, and they made a point at the riders meeting, don't do it. And then we get to these fields, and I'm on row 35, and by the time I get there, there's so many tracks outside of where those stakes were, straight through the crops, destroying crops. I haven't talked to Jeff about it yet, but I would imagine that they're going to have some crops to pay for, and that's just from negligence from riders that just don't care.
Yeah, and when people wonder why we don't have as many places to do enduros, that's a reason.
Yeah, and it's not just down there too. I talked to Craig Scott just before we got on here with Valley Trail Riders. He runs into the same thing, and it's we're borrowing property from farmers. They're being generous enough to let us use it. The least we can do is be generous enough to stay out of their crops.
Especially, like you said, they're farmers. That's their livelihood.
Yeah, and people just, they put on a helmet. They don't care. They just, all they can think about is, I'll make up 2 seconds by cutting this corner, because I can cut straight across the farmer's fields and have no remorse of what they're doing to the farmer and the impact that's going to make on having races.
Yeah.
So I guess the point on that is, if you are listening, just be mindful of that. It's not just enduros. Some hare scrambles do it too, where Eagle Hare Scramble was always one of them that they're borrowing farmers' fields too. It's they're being generous enough to let us use it. We've harped on it, on every episode we've had on this podcast about, take care of the property owners and put in the time, and because by not doing that, we're going to lose races. When we don't have races, the sport's not going to be as good.
Yeah, I know even here, we use some neighbor's property, and if we don't treat it the right way, we won't have it to use, and then everybody will have a lot smaller course or no course at all.
Yeah. So, yep, take care of those that take care of you.
So all in all, good first round.
Yeah.
What's the second round?
I believe it's Valley Trail Riders in July.
Yeah, so I know they take a pretty decent break.
The enduros, you start off with Roselawn, and then you've got a big break, and then Valley Trail Riders races, I think it's the last weekend of July, Summer Bummer and Jack Pine in August, so they get kind of stacked up there in the summertime, and then they get stacked up at the
it looks
fall.
like Bark Buster July 26th, and then just a quick break, about 2 weeks.
And then back-to-back weekends.
Back to Summer Bummer, then Jack Pine, and then Mud Daubers in October.
Yeah, and then you got October and then 2 in November.
Yeah. Indiana and Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, awesome. Well, I'm going to try to call Dan Stevens in so we can talk about hair scrambles. Because I know he's on a little bit tighter schedule than Adam is. Let's see if we can make this phone thing work again. I hope I had it on.
Great radio, bros.
I don't think that worked. How did we get this to work so good last time?
Your call has been forwarded to an...
There it is. I just had to hit the button.
Now we just need to get.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it wasn't your fault. It was my fault.
Oh, crap. Okay, well, I'm going to turn my headphones back on.
What's up, Dan?
Not much. How you guys doing?
Oh, another day of pretending to be podcasters.
Yeah, just up here in the scoring tower, like,
Excellent.
sweating my ass off.
Your butt.
Yeah, my butt. My
Hit
bad.
you.
I should have.
Right.
I tried to get out here a little bit earlier and get the air conditioner turned on, but it just didn't work. And by the time I got here, Logan's like, "It doesn't feel that bad." I'm like, "Dude, 20 minutes ago, I was cooking like a sausage."
Yeah, things basically a greenhouse.
It is. All right, so Dano, talk to us about hair scrambles. Actually, we'll get to the first round, but let's talk about you first and how you got into hair scrambles and how you got to where you're at now as the chairman of District 14 Hair Scrambles.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. See, I like catching people off guard.
Yeah, we're getting personal. Oh, man, I'm going to have to think back. I was actually just looking at my AMA card the other day. I think on year 11 when I first got that, when I did my first hair scramble race. So I guess I'm been doing these for like 11 years now. Got into it just from friend of a friend. I got my first dirt bike pretty late in life for most people. I think I was like, and didn't actually start, doing anything with it till I was like 25. So I think that's when I did my first race. My buddy Donnie Willay talked me into it, and the rest is history. From there, I did my first race at Portland. Way back in the day in the Z class, the 2-hour class.
Wasn't that so? The Z class was like the C class, right? Like Z was.
It was a
C.
Yeah, it was a B class, which was actually a mistake for me because I was nowhere near an actual B rider at the time. But my buddy's like, "Yeah, you'll be fine,"
Yeah, I know they used to have like all sorts of different names for the classes.
Well, it was all letters.
Yeah,
Everything was a letter.
yeah, the X class,
Yep.
the M class, or
Yep. Back in the day, the classic M class for the experts. So
That was all because of scoring. So you would had if you were a 3-digit number, you'd be 874X or whatever.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have transponders back in the day, so we had to use letters to designate the classes.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, funny story. I did not know that Brian Kidner is the one that brought like transponders to the hair scramble division when he was chairman.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because he said that Byron is actually one of the guys that like helped raise money to buy them.
Well, yeah, there was a few clubs.
Yeah.
Battle Creek.
Battle Creek.
Valley Trail.
Valley. Yep.
Whatever. There was a couple more clubs. I don't know, Portland maybe. The clubs that were doing hair scrambles, they all kind of chipped in and made it happen.
Yeah, he said Byron was kind of like, "What do you need?" And he's like, "Well, it's going to be about this much." And there was all the clubs just chipped in, and
yeah.
So that was like what 2008, 9, something like that. A long time ago.
Yeah, I think our first year. That's if you look back in the history on Moto Tally, I think it's 2008.
Yeah,
was our first year. And,
so that's during a recession. Let's go spend some money. I'm sure everybody was real happy about that.
Well, what they were doing before that, you had a barcode on your chin.
Yeah, I remember
those.
The
numbers, and you would come in and you'd be an
stop.
item on the grocery cart,
Yeah.
getting scanned every time you came through. And before that, we had this discussion with Byron at the Sprint Bureau of back in the day here at Battle Creek. You had a long board with paper clips, and your number was on that paper clip. And when you come in, Shorty would just go and mark your number, run down the list, mark your number. That's how they scored it.
Well, wasn't there a time in enduros when it was like on the front fender?
Oh, there still are.
They still are?
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord.
Onion skins.
All right. So you did your first hair scramble at Portland. That's a decent way to break into it. It's not super tight. Got a little bit of corn.
Yeah, it's kind of
orchard.
Right, exactly. Kind of the more beginner route, and believe it or not, I couldn't even make it through the enduro cross at that place. So I definitely didn't belong in the B class. I got stuck in there a couple of times thinking I could do it, and this was also on the way wrong bike, CRF 450, and not
don't let
tuned
Zach
at all for.
What's wrong with CRF 450?
Don't let Zach hear you say that. And Logan just
Logan, what are you riding these days?
Pretty darn good CRF 450. I raced it at Roselawn this weekend, tight woods. I am happy with that thing.
But anybody that knows Logan knows that whatever bike he's on at the time is the greatest bike ever built.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know a few people like that.
When he was on the beta, it was beta or nothing.
Beta 300 two-stroke is still the all-time bike.
And he got that Yamaha.
I'll give him that.
He got that Yamaha 250 and went, nope. That's the only bike that's not the best bike ever.
That's a sweet moto bike. It was a terrible wood bike.
Great moto bike. All right, so first hair scramble at Portland, and then did you just decide you want to do the whole series?
So that year I think I did that one, and then that was back in the day too of like 14 races a year.
And Portland was usually
so there was literally a race like every weekend, and I just didn't have the time to commit to it back then. I was still in college actually, so I think we ended up doing the second half of the season after that. So I did one race and then waited a few months and then did another one, I think down at Plymouth Blackhawks, and then enjoyed that so much that's I actually switched to the 3-hour class for that one, and then just ran the rest of the season in Open B 3-hour. And again, I had no business being there, but we did it and it was a blast.
I rode Plymouth one time in the spring.
Yeah.
Sandy,
but there's also like some black muck sections there.
I raced Plymouth Blackhawks, I think 3 or 4 times, and I'd never left that place without puking.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, because they do have some nasty clay in there too. It's a good mix of different stuff.
All those.
I remember that year,
first race of the year. It just it got you.
Yep,
you're not ready.
Yep,
we're not ready.
Yeah.
So when did you start becoming more involved in the hair scramble series as more than just a racer?
Yeah, good question. So, like I mentioned, my buddy Donnie was really good friends with Brian Kidner. So
yeah, I've heard the name like a million times.
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty infamous. So, he was good friends with Kidner, and then I got to know Brian from there. And it was many years before I started getting into any sort of involvement from the leadership side of things. I think I actually first got started with being the webmaster for D14, because that's what I kind of more or less do for a day job.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think it was when Brian was chairman. Logan, you were vice chairman at one point, if I remember correctly.
I was.
And then I think after you were vice, then Zach was vice chairman for a little bit, and then Zach became chairman. Brian said he took another break, and then I think that's when I just went straight to vice chairman for Zach. After that, I think Brian just recommended me to Zach, and all history from there. So that was probably, gosh, I'm trying to think how long Zach did chairman. I think he did it for about 5 years. And this is my 3rd year, I think, as chairman. So yeah, it's been a ride. So
yeah, because like you said, you do the webmaster stuff for the district. So any website issues we have, we're always like, Dan.
It was my fault.
Well, you did help build the website, so that
I did. It's deserved.
So all right. I don't want to I don't want to make you talk about yourself too much. You're like one of the most humble people I've ever met in my life, so I don't want to make you talk about yourself a ton. So let's talk about the hare scramble series for this year, specifically round 1 coming up, but also, the series.
Let's talk about the changes first that Dan's put in.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, Logan's good.
Yeah, talk about, you did a few races last year with the split program and why it came about, why you did it, and how it's working out, and is every round doing it this year?
Yeah, for sure. So back in the day, I'm trying to think of what our turnout was back, 5, 6, even before that. I think we would be lucky to get, 150, 200 riders, at most. That's back when I first started.
Yeah, Brian told me if they used to get 150, they were stoked.
Yeah, yep. That was a good day. And around the time that Zach became chairman, I think it was kind of COVID era. And a little bit before then, our numbers were kind of increasing. And then the COVID boom really blew things up for us. So, we had years where we were averaging close to 500 riders throughout the entire season per race. And it was just crazy. We didn't have, our track minimum length was a lot lower back then. I think it was like 5.5 or 6 miles. With that many riders on the track, it was just kind of getting dangerous, and 2, it just did not provide for good racing.
Yeah.
I had situations where, Portland being a kind of a shorter track, I would literally come up to scoring and I would have to sit there for about 5 minutes waiting to get through the scoring line. And when you do that, it's just, it no longer becomes a race. So we just, we kind of looked at what other series were doing throughout the country, that have, big turnouts like that, and how they handle it. And so, and then with the input of a few people, within the district, Logan and Brian and those guys, we decided that we need to do something, whether it's, splitting up the race days or just splitting up the races themselves, to try to get less people on the track at the same time. And so last year I believe we ran 2 or 3 races last year with our new split program. So what we did is we split the C class out, hour and a half race, around like 10:30. We usually start those guys now. We kind of shifted everything forward about an hour, to try to get the race day all done in one day and get people home at a time. And then the AB class, and team, they all run in the afternoon after the C class is done, for the normal hour 50 plus a lap. So, we tried a couple of them last year, working out the kinks a little bit. It was maybe a little bit rocky in the first one, but our riders were super supportive of it. The feedback was really good, and we did it kind of as a test. And based on the feedback, right? Yes, I think our first one was polka dots. So shout out to those guys, because they were all about it, and they provided great support for it. Yeah. Yep. So that was awesome to have them behind it, and they kind of pioneered the idea and worked with us to get it figured out. And it's went great last year. So now we decided we are doing it at every race this year. So been posting a lot about our schedule and our race day kind of setup. So make sure if you're coming out to race with us, you check out our Facebook. Website has all the details on there too. Yeah, it's a little busier of a day from a working standpoint, but realistically, it provides a lot better racing. Logan, did you try any of the split program ones last year?
I rode polka dots in the team class. We rode team, but no, I thought it was great because that was always one of my complaints. As being an A rider I just felt bad. You get in a battle with another rider, and if you're the second guy and you catch lappers left and right, they move over for the first guy, and they don't always stay moved over for the second guy. And the amount of times that just inadvertently we run into people, or just have to yell at them, because you're about to run into them, stuff like that. So I thought at Polka Dots it worked good. Seemed like everything was pretty close to on time. you say it might have been a little rocky, but as a rider, it wasn't. Everything seemed good.
Yeah. Well, that's good that we kept up the illusion that things are going smooth. So
Dan got some extra gray last year.
When you put on a circus, behind the scenes is always worse.
That's the thing is like,
oh yeah, you know how it is.
That first sprint last week at Battle Creek, I was like, man, it went so well. And it's like, it did. But at the same time, we were all like panicking at one point or another.
I wasn't.
Yep.
I was good.
Yeah, okay. We see you ride by on the pit bike with the stone face. Like, no, you're headed back because a scan didn't come in or something. No, you added a new track last year, Roush World.
Yep.
And seems like they did really well. Seems like a lot of people really like the place. I know you and like Dougie and your other rider reps put in a lot of work down there.
Yep.
But they're
that was a great location.
They're a very receptive owners group to.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's. It can go either way, as Logan probably knows with private landowners. But these guys, Jamie and Ben, are just amazing people. They've been super supportive of it, and I mean, it fits great with what they do there. They've got riding pretty much every day of the week, as far as like ATVs and quads and side by sides, and they've got just a ton of things that people can do there. So. Well worth checking that place out if you've never been there before. That's for sure.
Now, do you have
Logan? I think you have your first race there this year.
Yeah, we're doing a sprint enduro there also, and I went and met Jamie, and he showed me around the property. Really, really good dude, and actually just was on the phone with Ben yesterday. Getting stuff sorted out for our sprint, and working with him and kind of guiding him on what to order, arrows and ribbon wise, and letting him know that if you order too much, it's okay because they're doing a hair scramble too. So whatever you don't use, you've got for the hair scramble. So it was really cool to see them join on with the hair scrambles last year, and then now they're adding to it. So we're having a sprint and a hair scramble there this year.
Yep.
Now, do you have any other new facilities, or is that the only new one currently?
I think that is our only new one for this from last year. Boy, I have to look at my schedule here.
10 Pines is back on the schedule this year, aren't they?
Yep, 10 Pines is back on the schedule this year.
They took a year off to be moto nerds, and now they're back to doing off-road too.
Back to the real races.
Yeah, they're coming back to the light side,
I mean, they're still doing moto races, but they're just, you can tell they missed their roots.
Yep. So, they were new last year, and then we've got a couple returning tracks this year: 10 Pines, Tin Roof, and Portland back on the schedule again this year. So pretty good looking schedule. No new tracks for this year, no brand new ones at least, but we definitely have a few irons in the fire with a few different places around the state. But,
that's right, we do.
Again, yeah, exactly. You guys know how that goes. It's not as easy as the moto side of things, where there's an established track and you just kind of make it work. But we got to work with landowners and similar to enduros and townships. Yeah, which usually is the biggest hiccup. So a lot of groundwork goes into even just getting a facility started in our series, but obviously it's well worth it for these facilities if they can get us in, especially with the amount of riders off-road is bringing now. So
let's talk about round one, Whiskey Creek this weekend. I will say I've actually never rode there. I've been there a few times because Norman and Shell are just fantastic people. But let's talk about Whiskey Creek. I've never rode there. Love the facility. It's a great place. Kids love it. So let's talk about round one.
Yeah. Like you said, awesome facility. Year-round campground. They've got seasonal spots for people and weekend and daily spots for the public. So huge facility. I don't even know what their total number of acres is there. I think it's well over 200.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things I was going to say. For people that haven't been there, like bounce pillow for the kids, pond to swim and fish in, indoor pool, laundry facilities.
They even got a place to land your helicopter too.
Yeah. I mean, convenience store. They make pizzas. They have ice cream. They also have a liquor license. Like, it is legitimately a one-stop, like, redneck, like, just everything. Come ride your side by side,
A
ride
little
your
slice of paradise in the middle of nowhere.
And if you want to
Yeah.
shut off from the world, just go to Whiskey Creek, because you turn that one corner and your phone goes to circle with a line through it. Like there's nothing. If you don't have a Starlink, you're off grid.
Yep. Otherwise, you got to go up on the big hill. It's the only area with reception. So,
Yeah, and like I said, you know Norman
I
Michelle
mean,
a lot more than I do, but just the times I've been around
Yeah.
them and my dealings with them, like they're fantastic people.
Yep. They've been absolutely a blessing to work with. That's for sure. They absolutely love having the races there. Logan, I think you have a race there this year. Be the first sprint indoor I think they've run there.
Yep.
So yeah, they just love having us around, and we obviously love going there. Awesome property, lots of elevation, lots of woods. We've got some more open trail this year. I actually went up, I think it was last weekend, and helped the guys out, kind of just tidying things up there. And a lot different trail than last year. Our last, I think it was one of our last races of the year last year, was at Whiskey
I
Creek.
think it
And
was the last.
it was after a
second to
super
last.
long dry spell. Yeah, and
It was
I mean,
bad.
it just turned to sugar. Yeah, it was just like dust. It was yeah. So that race, the track conditions weren't the greatest, but this is the time of year to be there. With the snow melt, the moisture that's in the ground there, and with the soil they have, it was absolutely perfect last weekend. I think we're scheduled to get a little rain either tomorrow night or Friday there, which is going to be just prime. So, I mean, it's going to be awesome. I think they got about 50% new trail there, brand new, like never ridden on until last weekend.
Well, that's one of the questions I was going to ask.
Bringing it in a little bit.
So inquiring minds, the riders probably want to know: is it different trail?
Yep.
Yeah.
It is different trail. Yep. A lot of different trail. And then the stuff that we did reuse.
That's been reworked a lot.
Yeah, it's been reworked. So they've been talking a lot with Byron from Battle Creek on how he manages to groom and clean up the trail after it gets so beat up, and they've figured out a lot of the same equipment that we use at Battle Creek to clean things up, so everything's pretty much smoothed out. A couple whoops here and there, but you're not riding a hair scrambler off road if you're not going through a few sand whoops. So, but yeah, it should be really great.
So that's round one, and then what you got? Round two is Battle Creek.
10 Pines.
10 Pines.
Round two is 10 Pines.
Round three
the
is
following
Battle
weekend.
Creek. Yeah. Oh, you're going back to back weekends? Man.
Yep, we're going back to back. Yep.
I hope you did your winter workouts.
I know.
Back to back weekends. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be a quick ramp up. So, yeah, our northern friends that might still be dealing with some snow melt up there. Hopefully
They're
they've
in shape.
been on the
They've done
trainer
lots of
bikes.
shoveling.
Yeah,
Lots of
that's true.
shoveling. Or carrying buckets of water out of their basements, because they're dealing with that too.
Yeah,
Same.
Everything's flooding.
yeah.
So round 2, 10 Pines. Round three, we got a little bit of a rivalry here. You got to come to BC, and Logan's carrying the torch right now for setting records for off road races at Battle Creek, man.
I know. Yeah.
Still haven't. I mean, he still hasn't. He hasn't hit that hair scramble number. What did we have here a couple of years ago, like 5:39 or something like that, which was insane. But the last 2 years, he's carrying the torch. I mean, last year the weather kind
To
of.
be fair, last year
Last
the year
year
before, the
hit
year
us.
before that, even the year before that was all mudders.
I mean, we had 500 in the mud.
Yeah.
And Byron
did.
doesn't want that many riders when it's that muddy, because it destroys the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see him halfway through the day.
Cleaning up.
Halfway through the day, he'll roll up on his quad and be like, "My woods are destroyed."
Yeah.
He loves
Yeah,
it. It gives him
that's
something
true.
to do during the week. Cleaning
Yeah, he wouldn't know what to do with himself if he wasn't he's out here every day. Every day.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to keep it too
hopefully we get some
long.
luck this year. We need Logan's good luck on the weather for Battle Creek, because he's had some awesome weather and some
He made a
awesome
deal.
conditions.
We need the good weather. I got a brand new built RM250 that I want to ride for
Ooh.
it. And if it's muddy, that
All
thing
right.
is staying in the trailer. So you better have some perfect weather so I can ride it.
Yeah, like we said on the Sprint Enduro weekend, and Kidner said it. We've all talked about we don't know what deal and who Logan made it with, but all last year was perfect. We were underwater 5 days before the sprint, Darrow. Ended up
And
perfect.
3 days after.
And 3 days after. There's still lakes out here right now.
Yeah. Maybe you need to be the hair scramble chairman too.
Pass.
Yeah, just add another job to the plate.
Right.
My wife already hates me. We'll yeah.
All right, Danny. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got, kids and wife and extra businesses. You got a million things on your plate too. You're like me and like Logan.
Sounds breaking up a little bit. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. I think you said you're getting ready to let me go, so that works for me.
Yeah, I was saying you probably got a million things to do, just like we do, and I don't want to keep you too long.
All right, sorry, I couldn't understand the word you said, but
All right, Dan.
it was
Thanks
great
for
talking with you guys. So.
thanks for coming on, bud.
All right, see you guys.
Bye. I think it's his headset.
I think it's his phone.
It does that sometimes on district meetings.
Yeah,
he'll be
it does.
talking and just,
Yep. Oh, good.
So yeah, I mean, we didn't get really a chance to end it the right way, but I wanted to thank Dan for all the work he does. I mean, he's our secretary here at the club. He's webmaster. He's on like planning and zoning for his township. Like,
Yeah.
dude has so many things going
He's
on.
very much behind the scenes type of guy.
Yeah, he doesn't
And
care
does
about
well
being
at
out
it.
front.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
but does an amazing job behind the scenes. Never wants to take credit. Him and Zach both made a lot of changes to that
Yeah.
series and brought it a long, long ways. I had to needle him about the numbers because I was giving him crap at the sprint.
I know it. I stay out of that.
Like Logan's beating you.
I just want to see every single race do good. If the hair scrambles are doing well, that usually means that the sprint arrows are doing well. And
Yeah, it's a lot of
if
same
all
crowd.
that's doing well. The motocross is doing well. If dirt bike tracks are full on the weekend, that's what makes me happy.
Absolutely. All right, let's give Adam a call real quick, and we'll talk about some moto last weekend, moto coming up. If he can answer, he's probably at a tennis match or something. Once again, all of us that work with the district, we all have 8 million things going on. Hello.
Hello, this is Mr. 1 million things and 411 extra on top of that.
Are you at tennis right now?
No, we're done with our third game of tennis tonight, so we are on our way home.
All right. Well, we just got off with Dan Stevens, and now it's time to call you and talk about Log Road last weekend. You were there on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday started off pretty muddy. P-dubs we only had one micro one show up to the line for their practice, so they did get a sight lap for their moto because it'd been so long. And those guys did pretty good by the end of the day. Jeff and the crew had the track whipped up into shape, and I know on Sunday he said he got the water truck out because it was getting dusty in spots.
They had good numbers, right? It was almost 400 on Saturday, and then
Yeah, it was almost 400 on Saturday. I think they were just shy of 800 or right around 770 or something for the whole weekend.
That's great.
But,
Log Road is
we've
one of
seen
those.
The last,
What's that? Go ahead.
like we've seen the last couple Loretta Lynn qualifiers, those Saturdays seems to be the busy day now.
Yeah, that's more the youth
The
classes.
vet riders. Right? Yeah, the modified and the open pro sport and the vet classes are all on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So them guys not quite turning out as high as normal this year, but the youth classes are definitely up on Saturday. We had 33 riders, I believe, in the 50 senior, the micro 3 class.
Wow.
It's a lot
And
of 50s.
that was a pretty good sight. Almost full gate of 65s in the limited classes. Some great battles with Tedesco came in.
Yeah, a lot of out-of-state guys this weekend.
Right.
Well, Log
Right.
Road
Mason Howard sold it down.
Log Road being a very southern Michigan track, they get a lot of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. But didn't you say there was like 9 different families or something from Minnesota this weekend?
Yeah, when I was looking at the results, Minnesota was like 9 different families, and there was some that you saw the last name, but yeah,
Yeah.
a bunch of different people must have carpooled together from Minnesota because they don't have great weather yet either.
Yeah, it's the Great White North.
Yes.
So that was a final Loretta Lynn's area qualifier for Michigan, right?
Now we're starting the regular season starts this weekend.
Yeah,
The
finally,
Mafia
just
Series
regular
continues.
District 14 motocross.
Yeah, round like 6 of the Mafia series, but this is just Mafia one. We don't have to worry about the Loretta classes. I'm kind of excited. The weather looks decent for the weekends. Friday, there's a chance for a little bit of rain. And we got 2 tracks running this weekend for the first time of the year, Redbud and Big Air. And both are, really looking forward to this season opener. And everybody's still got cabin fever for a good weekend, so hopefully they both have it and get good turnouts.
Yeah, I think you'll see more regulars come out these weekends because some people just don't want to mess with the Loretta's qualifier stuff. I mean, they just don't.
Especially when the weather's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad weather. It costs a bit more. You're racing people that, have no bearing on your class for the year in the district stuff. And like I said, a lot of people have been dealing with flooding and still snow up north and all that, so they haven't had a time to ride much. So I think that with the better weather we've had the last couple of weeks, I feel like Redbud and Big Air are both going to have good weekends. I mean, whether it rains or not, it's going to be deep and wet first practice at Redbud.
Yeah, for sure. Tim's going to have a rip deep no matter what.
Yeah,
And
it's going to be watered and it's going to be deep.
Yeah, both these you can watch on Michigan Motocross Timing. It's going to have both tracks covered. So if anybody's sitting at home and wants to see who's doing what, you can get on their links on the District 14 Motocross Division page.
Yep, always have live timing going. So Redbud and Big Air. Then what we got? Oh, so the weekend after that is round 1 of the Michigan State Championship Series. And also
at your place.
At Battle Creek Motorcycle Club. We'll be racing both days, Saturday and Sunday. Sunday's Michigan State Championship Series, and then also on Saturday is the Warrior Series for any current or past military veterans. And then Sunday is also round 1 of the new D14 Women's Motocross Crown, a series just for the ladies. We've got the regular girls class, the women's class, and then now we have a women's 25 plus class for all the mature ladies to get out there and race. That should be a good one. I know there's a lot of girls really excited about that series. And it's going to coincide with our state series. It's going to be 1 round at every track, just like the state series is. I know that in speaking with our treasurer here at Battle Creek today, I talked with our trophy guy, and we've got some special awards on tap for the women's series for next Sunday. So, we need to support the women's racing as much as possible. I mean, the last 5 years, I've noticed it just explode all over the place. I mean, it's always been decent, but it's gotten a lot bigger.
Yeah, we went through a little bit of a lull there, and now it's coming back. Yeah, for sure.
And we've got some of the fastest girls in the country right here in Michigan.
2 top 10 riders on the mini bikes last year, and then I believe 1 top 10er on the big bikes.
Yep. No, we've got some.
A lot of girls went down there and qualified.
Yeah, for sure. So what else? Anything new on the motocross front, Adam?
No, we're just excited to not have to send results into MX Sports and get the weather all the time. As always, when we start the state rounds, it gets a little bit of a boost, and then we go back into the regular season again, and the state races are sprinkled pretty evenly all year this year.
Yeah, they are. We definitely the group did a good job making the schedule this year, for sure.
Yes. So anyone, check out Redbud this weekend. Check out Big Air. I'm sure it'll be great. Hopefully, see you guys at the races. We'll be out Redbud this weekend, I think.
Yeah, so you're gonna be at Redbud because I can't be.
And my kid wants to race. So
yeah, there you go. All right, Adam. Well, I knew it was gonna be kind of a short update tonight because we're in the thick of it right now. Nothing crazy going on.
We are. All right, guys. Well, you take care, and I'll listen to the rest of the show. Look forward to seeing you guys at the races.
Yeah, we'll have you in or on the phone next week so we can talk more about the women's series, and we'll call Lindsay and maybe Bryce, get them on for that. Really want to pump that women's series up a lot.
Yeah, I'll be there Sunday for the state round, so guys, come on out. We still have sponsorship open for the state series if anybody wants to throw their name in. I know the girls have been getting some great sponsors, already have award sponsors, so congratulations to Lindsay and Bryce on sealing those deals.
Yeah, those 2 ladies have done a great job spearheading that thing. All right, buddy.
All right, boys. You take care.
Yep, have a good one. All right, well, I think that about wraps it up for this week.
Yeah, short and sweet.
Yeah, we covered everything. Like I said, next week we'll get the girls on, talk about their series some more. And with us starting a little bit later tonight, we don't want to be up too late. So, all right, well, I want to thank Logan for coming in as usual. And we'll be back next week, Wednesday, same time. Thanks, everybody, for coming in and listening. See ya.